Yeah, nobody wants to be a cop. Oh my god, I barely just showed up and already you want me to hydrate? Fine, you get a longer intro then.
Where's my volume mixer? Here we go.
Hello everybody, welcome. Thank you for the pets. Welcome to Tuesday. Can you believe it's Karateka Tuesday? It's the same day as TF Tuesday. Can you believe that we have these two Tuesdays happening at the same time? Usually it's only one Tuesday at a time. But hi, I'm your host Ambion, and with me is my lovely partner Necrotext. Hello, lovely partner Necrotext.
Hello, lovely partner and beyond on Karateka TF Tuesday.
Karateka 2. No, it doesn't work. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop. Hi.
That's
so,
why I didn't try.
Yeah. It works better written. You know, sometimes you get puns that are better when you write them, and some when you actually say them. Hey, Abali, hey, Kefki. So, for those who don't know, Karateka Tuesday is when we celebrate Karateka, and we play the song that's Karateka Tuesday, which, if you're in part of the Discord, you see every Tuesday in the music channel. But a lot of people ask me, and beyond, what is Karateka? And then some ask me, oh, I know what Karateka is, but how did Karateka happen? And this is what we're here to answer today. We're going to be playing the making of Karateka. So after this stream, you will know absolutely everything there is to know about Karateka, so the song you hear every Tuesday will have a completely different meaning. I hope you're all looking forward to being completely illuminated.
I know I am.
Anyway.
I'm gonna learn so many things.
Let me move here. Fail I made. Karaoke Tuesday. I do not sing on stream. That's a big no-no for my end. Okay, let me grab the window. Let me approve it to my lovely partner. The Gold Master series. I don't know what a Gold Master series is. My goal for this summer is to finish Karateka. If it's half as big as I dream it to be, then it should be enough to launch me into the video game world. Definitely the... Yeah. So let's look at like this. I'd say this is enough. English. I do like English. Let's stick with English. Flashlight, exactly. I still haven't played the Digital Eclipse game you mentioned. Maybe I should avoid spoilers. Up to you. I have not played this either, but I'm here to learn, and we can learn together. And obviously, even if you get spoiled, you can still support the devs by buying stuff. You know, it's like streaming a visual novel. The world of video games, exactly. Okay. So, the making of a masterpiece. How did a teenager with an Apple II design one of the most influential games of all time? Explore the making of Jordan Mechner's Karateka below, or view the games menu with X. Well, we're gonna go with Chapter 1.
Is Karateka one of the most influential games ever made?
I would say it's a pioneering video game, because Karateka directly led to Prince of Persia, and then Prince of Persia kinda was massively influential. It's kinda like what Wolfenstein 3D is to Doom.
Okay, that's fair. I can accept that.
Yeah. Dreams of Stardom. Teenage programming prodigy Jordan Mechner didn't want to wait around to get into the video game industry. Not when he had an Apple II and a dream of striking it rich. He just needed a killer idea. Before we start, I do want to say like one little thing that people may or may not know. I've mentioned this before, but I have had the lovely pleasure of meeting Jordan Mechner and talking to him extensively almost a decade ago, I would say. Lovely person, very sweet, very genuine, very good to talk with. Really appreciate meeting him. I think if it wasn't for him, I would have quit the industry because I was at a sort of like motivational low point, and basically talking to him contributed quite a bit to me not not deciding to just hang it up and pursue something else.
Right. Also, enjoy your lurk barrack.
Yeah, enjoy Lord Barrack. Okay. So do I just move here? Okay, I move here. Introduction: playing the movies. In 1984, Broderbund released the debut game of a young developer named Jordan Mattner. Karateka would prove to be one of the most influential games of the era, inspiring a generation of designers with its many groundbreaking leaps in cinematic techniques, animation, story, characters, and music. Let's play the video.
Would you believe 2 Boy Scouts with a slingshot?
No kicks.
So, this
Oh, wait. We're going back? Where are subtitles? Surely you have subtitles. Are there actually no subtitles? Oh no, there's no subtitles?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's like a massive oversight. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to be quiet while people are talking.
Okay.
Oh no, there's captions. There we go. Never mind.
Whoa!
I was very worried for a moment.
So, this is a Media Mate, and it contains a bunch of 5 and a
Oh, it's Tom Hall.
discs. There's a lot of classics here, including Wolfenstein and Beyond Castle Wolfenstein, which inspired us later. And just behind that is the game, Karateka. Love it. It's so good.
I remember seeing Karateka and wanting it, and then not have enough money to buy it. But I think I saved up some money, and I eventually went back.
It's a toasty guy.
I was sold on the box artwork alone.
It is.
Kinda
The box
told
artwork for
story.
this
I
is
remember
really fucking
the
good.
illustration was
It's
really
exceedingly
well done.
good. It's beautiful. It's
And
lovely.
Again, just kind of told the story of what that game was.
Yeah,
And,
Carmine.
yeah, eventually I
Carmine.
picked it up and started playing it.
When I
And
first
Lily.
loaded it up, what I expected was something down the lines of Karate Champ or similar head-to-head beat-em-ups. Instead, what I got was a cinematic experience. That's what blew my mind, right? The fact that it started with, a text crawl, right out of, which to my mind, that was right out of Star Wars, right? That cinematic experience is the thing that was just amazing, right? It was the most movie-like experience I'd ever had in a video game at that point.
It really felt like, you're a karate hero in a movie. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a game. I remember us playing this.
All the other things that feel like bleeps and bloops, and this is like, movie making. It was amazing.
Yeah, I was just very impressed by the fluidity of the animation. And the kicks look great. The punches look great. They were always capped off with a little bit of a sound, a little kia. Yeah, the fluidity of the motion, I think, really set the stage for the rest of what I had consumed about that game.
The animation was cool, and it was
game.
very innovative, obviously, at the time. The process and the beginning of animation getting better and better and better, right? And more cinematic. Taking cues from the movie industry. But I think the story, I think the
I looked away
storytelling,
for a second. Who is this talking?
was probably one of the
I did not see.
I can't think of.
Whenever you click out of the
I
window, it
can't
pauses
think of
the
another
stream
game
for
at the
me.
time that
Oh
had
shit. Okay, I'll
that
stop
element
looking out the window.
The characters were not little sets of pixels. They, in fact, were fully formed individuals.
Oh, it's a
They had
broader guy, okay.
personalities. They had strengths and weaknesses. You've got to remember the level of graphics that people were doing at that time.
Yeah, I
And they
resized the
were-
window so people
they
can
were
see
on
the
the
names
sophisticated
and
side
titles more
for that
clearly.
time.
Karateka
No, that's
was
fine.
historically a very significant game, and it saw the future before anybody else did. Part of it was because it understood the language of cinema, that visuals mattered, that full motion mattered, that human beings and characters and characterization, and storytelling and music mattered in a way that we take for granted now when we see games. Games that are at least as complex as films.
A common knock against a lot of game developers today is that they want to be movie makers. But gosh, you could almost look at Karateka as sort of the the original apple from the Tree of Knowledge there.
Can't wait to see everybody pronounce the name of this game
Really,
differently.
in a lot of ways, the first game that put together fluidity of motion, cinematic shots, story arc, twists, filmic language, and
Yeah, fuck that bird.
pointed the way towards a marriage of film movie style storytelling and gameplay.
Karateka. I like pronouncing it Karateka because that's how I pronounce it in Serbian.
I'm sure it's like a specific word, so I'm sure there's a specific way it's supposed to be said.
I'll pronounce it however I want.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying there is a correct way to say it. I don't know what it is.
Some words just don't have a correct way to say it, like hydrocity or hydrocity. Nobody knows what the correct way is. It's hydrocity.
No, well, if you're a karateka is like a person who practices karate. It's a real word.
I know, I'm shitting. Jordan Mechner, born in 1964, Jordan Mechner quickly developed a love of cartooning, envisioning a career in comics. Style changed when he discovered computers. By 13, he was already contributing math-heavy articles about the Apple II to create a computer magazine with titles like In Search of P and Pascal's Triangle. What's it all about? Man. What's that? That's like the 70s? The 70s were fucking wild. Imagine being 13 in the 70s and like getting published in computing magazines.
It would be pretty wild.
How old was I when I had my first article? I was 2007. Oh, hey, I'm gonna be 2007, so I was 18 then. I was 18 years old when I got my first article in a magazine published. And it was just a review.
You've been published? Actually, that's not true. The first time I got published in something, I was published in 2023 in the Anthro Ohio Con book.
Oh, nice.
It was just a piece of art I contributed towards the book. They were looking for like artists from Ohio for the book.
That's why I need to remove it.
I do not own a copy of the book. I've seen the PDF, but I've lost that PDF and I have never been able to find it ever again. And I do not own a copy of the book because I wanted to go get a con book, but that required driving a couple hours and I was very tired that weekend.
I got published in 2 different Serbian magazines for video games. One is defunct, but the other is still going. It's like the longest going Serbian computer magazine. Anyway, Gallo Jordan Mechner. That's definitely a child from the 70s. Okay, Apple II, part of the first wave of home computers sold in 1977. The Apple II's color graphics and ease of use made it an early favorite, and the first device that introduced computers into the homes of millions of Americans. This work created a mass market for video game software open to any Apple II owner skilled enough to create some. Something I find very disheartening for me is I couldn't have a computer like super early on in the 90s because they were not particularly available. Oh, hey, Prince Floopers. Thank you for the boy kisser. It's interesting because like you have to be better off. Like you have to be like well off in a country that has access to computers to have something like this early on. And I kind of wish I had the opportunity to have a computer like super early on. Sadly, I did not. But it's kind of like disheartening because like then you hear stories in Sweden like, oh yeah, most kids here, like most people my generation as kids had computers here. Like why? Oh, because they were like heavily subsidized by the government because they wanted people to have computers and learn how to use them.
Yeah.
Alas, we can't pick where we're born or how we are born. At the Apple II.
The Gargle Blaster has been a subscriber on for 34 months.
Gargle Blaster, thank you for 34 months. Am I right? Rule 34. Everybody remember that rule? You remember? You remember,
do.
Han? You remember, Han?
I
Okay,
remember
cool.
Rule 34.
Thank you for the Rule 34s. Much appreciated. And we're also halfway to the soda count. What was I gonna say? Yeah, my family's first PC was 2002. Mine as well. But by then I had. Sorry, go ahead.
I think our first PC, I had a PC when I was 6, but it was like a family PC that my parents used primarily. If I was 6, that means it would have been 95.
Yeah. So in Serbia, you're like in elementary school, and then you're like if elementary school for 8 years, and then you go for 4 years in high school, and usually high school is when you kind of decide on the vocation. And I think by the time I got a computer, I had already like decided I would be in languages. But I think if I had like a computer when I was much younger, I might have probably gotten into computers. Anyway, Jordan with 2 family friends circa 1979, sitting at the Apple II. That year, when he was 14, Jordan sold his first game to a publisher. The company Softape paid him $25 for his game called Maze, intending to put it in a collection of Apple II games and cassette tape. It does not seem that Maze was ever released. Aww.
Oh.
Apples and asteroids. More than anything, 14-year-old Jordan Machner won an Apple II. He saved up money he made doing caricatures at the local fairs to buy one. Once he had his own computer, he immediately started creating games, including a version of a popular arcade game that was almost published. Ooh. Time to watch a video. Oh wait, before we do this, Carmine, you say I toyed with it but never learned the program. So I use my computer to play games, and I remember being guilt-tripped so much by my entire family for playing games on my PC that at one point, my dad was talking, because we had bought like a computer, and my dad was talking to my brother, and we were all in the room, and my brother was like, my dad was like, oh yeah, I talked to our neighbor, and he said that the computer we have is strong enough to operate a satellite. That's how they use them in, like that's the kind of PCs they use in America. And my brother commented with, "Oh yeah, well, you think NB's smart enough to operate a satellite? No, he's too stupid for that. All he knows is how to play games." And even though I was like 13 or 14, I turned around and looked at my brother, and I'm like, are you upset that I don't operate satellites? What the hell? Anyway.
You actually got started when you kept going to the local arcade, and you kept borrowing quarters to put in the arcade machine to do, what was it? Not Star Wars.
Space Invaders?
No.
Asteroids?
Asteroids. Yeah, you were completely addicted to asteroids. Every day you couldn't wait to go to the arcade to put some more quarters in that machine to play asteroids.
And that was 1980, so by then I was already in high school. That's pretty embarrassing if I was borrowing quarters from you.
From everybody. Yeah. But I gave you the quarters, and then you decided you had to program your own asteroids. Why leave it to the arcade? And you said, I can do this on my computer. You were caricaturing when you were 9 years old.
The caricaturing, yeah.
But you did it because you wanted to use the money to buy an Apple computer.
Really nice caricatures.
I was 12, 13 years old. I was doing the caricatures. I was doing the Cookie magazine, my Mad magazine parody. And really I wanted to do comics and animated films. But this was before computers came along. So I think if the Apple II hadn't been invented when it was, I probably would have just kept on making comics.
Okay, but I remember that you went to those street fairs, to those town fairs, to earn money to buy yourself an Apple computer.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what the money was going to be for, but it was, at least in the beginning.
Yeah, but later on, you were definitely trying to save up I think you
Geez, $900 in the 80s money.
Yeah, 12.
70s money.
Yeah, it's a lot.
1200. Never mind.
16K.
So to translate that into today's money, you can multiply maybe by 6. That's real money.
I know it was all the money I had.
Yeah.
And then even after doing the caricatures,
then you
I
borrowed
didn't
from
have
Emily
that. Yep.
to get for the last $100. You borrowed it from Emily. So then you started programming games. So the first.
Sorry, I just want to like emphasize he had to borrow the last few $100, so presumably he earned somewhere between 700 and 800 in caricatures, which is insane.
Imagine making money off of selling art.
Asteroids was actually, I mean, it took a couple of years to get to that point because my first games were in BASIC. You know, there was a game called Breakout on the Apple II. It had colored blocks and you have a kind of a paddle. It's very simple. It's a ball bouncing and you try to knock out the blocks.
Yes, right.
And so I would look at these programs written in BASIC and try to deconstruct how they'd been done. And IBM had the Thomas J. Watson Research Center Explorers program. Once a week, my friend Adrian would drive me after high school to IBM, and like they would let us kids come in and use the computers after hours. So that's where I first started learning how to program BASIC and APL.
I see.
And then with the Apple, it had BASIC, but it also had machine language, which was more of a mystery. It took longer to learn that.
Yeah, I remember that you did program asteroids. You worked on that quite a while, and it was so good. Such a good replica of asteroids that
it's actually
the
playable.
Company bought it from you. They paid you a lot of money.
Well, maybe I think it was $400.
That was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money, and it was the first money that I'd earned by programming.
Yeah,
and I was keeping track of it.
It was fabulous, and you had a royalty position, and you thought you would make a lot more money from the royalty. But then they got sued, and they had to stop the whole thing because it was too good a replica of asteroids.
Yeah, that's right. That's almost exactly how it happened. The best-selling Apple game at that time was Space Invaders, and they sold, I don't know how many, but I figured out that if I could do that for asteroids, that would be my ticket.
Yeah, and you were right. I mean, if they hadn't gotten sued, you would have.
If that'd been a year earlier, and that was just about the time that Atari kind of figured out what was going on, and they sent threatening letters to all of the new game publishers saying you can't publish copies of our games. And the asteroids never got
that
published.
was a big letdown.
Damn. And since there were a few official Apple II versions of popular arcade games, clones like the one Jordan created could be quite lucrative. Hayden Software, publisher of the popular chess game Sargon, gave 16-year-old Jordan a 750 advance and a 15% royalty for his asteroids. I thought it was $400. Did they misremember?
Maybe?
Dude, 750 in the 80s money.
750 in today's money?
It's fine. The economy's gonna crash in like a month, so it's not gonna be that much anymore.
If I could get 750 as an advance for literally anything in my entire life that I've ever done, I would be over the moon. Right this second. If you were like, I'll give you 750 for this thing that you did, I'd be like, holy shit. That's an advance? What the fuck?
Okay, this branches off. Asteroid Blaster design documents. Various design documents for asteroids illustrating how Jordan plotted the game's pixel art on graph paper before transferring the designs to the Apple II. Ooh. Oh, I even like used pixels. Smiley face, skull face. Man, remember graph paper? Remember whatever happened to graph paper?
Computers. I used to use graph paper a lot because I would design levels for games that I wanted to make, and I would make. There was this old video game engine called Player Worlds where you could make like MMOs that you could host, right? They were just like bump combat MMOs, like bump combat like East and stuff like that. But I would sit down in school and like take a page and like dedicate it to like I would dedicate it to part of the world, and I would like make room after room after room adjoining it, and like layouts of dungeons and stuff that I would put in those games. Not that they were ever popular or successful, but it was very fun to do.
Has anyone here ever drawn their Sona on graph paper?
Secondary question. Does it have to use the squares or just on graph paper?
I think it should take advantage of being on graph paper.
I drew my Sona on graph paper, but it was just paper.
Oh, no,
I did not use the graphing part.
Like, I don't know, like, draw your Sona normally, but they're holding like a paradoxical cube or something that's using graph paper. I don't know. Just taking advantage of the graph paper medium. A letter from Hayden Software, December 1980. Letter from Hayden Software, Stephen Radish to Jordan, dated December 3, 1980. Radish details changes that the publisher would like Jordan to make to the game, while expressing hopes that it will be the best asteroid-based game on the market for the Apple and bring in substantial royalties for Jordan. Let's see. Oh, does it not have captions for what it actually says? Okay. I guess we'll read it. Dear Jordan, thank you for your excellent Asteroids game. The program is indeed an example of superior programming. There are only 2 changes to the program which prevent me from enclosing the advanced check immediately. We discussed these changes on the telephone yesterday, but let me briefly go over them again. Since there are already several Asteroid games on the market, we at Hayden feel it is important to release only a version that is at least as complete as the others, and hopefully more. Since the graphics are so close to the arcade version, it would be a shame not to be able to release the best possible version of the game. The first change we discussed involved the addition of the flying saucers. This is very important, especially since the other games do have the ship. When an asteroid fan purchases the game, I'm sure that they will expect the saucer and will be disappointed to find it missing from the program. The second change we discussed was the manner in which the ship rotated. I agree with you that we do not want the ship to go spinning out of control. We also do not want to make it difficult to maneuver the ship by requiring both paddles to be used. Try to think of some way in which the rotation can be smooth and at the same time not too fast. Please feel free to use as much memory, up to the 48K limit, as you feel necessary. My primary concern is that this game gets released. It will be the best Asteroids game on the market. I plan to sell the game for a minimum of $20 and maybe more, so you can see that the 15% of net sales would be quite a substantial figure. I hope you find the terms of the contract acceptable. If so, please sign 2 copies where indicated and return the contracts to us as soon as possible. I will be out of the office until January 26, 1981, so I will not be able to speak with you until then. In the meantime, if you have any questions, drop me a line at the office and I will give it my full attention when I return. Have a happy new year. Oh, that's a very professional letter. Remember when people were professional?
Imagine.
Now everybody's like relatable. Whoa, look at this disc. It's a floppy.
Have you ever actually held a floppy disk? Like not
Yes.
like the big ones, but like one of these?
Yes, I have.
I have. I used to own. I probably own somewhere. It's probably at my mom and dad's. I owned a D&D game that was on those floppies, but I only had one of the 2 floppies that it takes to play the game. But I had a computer for a really long time that could actually load floppies of that size, and I tried loading it once and it did not work. Because it was like the first disc and I didn't have the second, but it did not work. It was very amusing though to have.
Yeah, I had them because we had them in my elementary school in computer class, because that's how old the computers were. Jordan's Asteroid game went through several title changes. First, it was Asteroid Belt. By the time of this prototype version in 1981, it was Asteroid Blaster. In this version, the graphics were still highly reminiscent of the arcade game on which it was unofficially based. Okay.
Oh, is it playable?
Yeah, it's playable. Jordan's taken the popular arcade game Asteroids. Unofficial clones of arcade games for personal computers were big sellers, which is why publisher Hayden Software signed this game from 16-year-old Jordan. By 1981, however, Atari had begun begun to crack down on unauthorized clones, and the publisher became skittish. It asked Jordan to change the game's name to Asteroid Blaster, but still refrained from publishing it. Note, prototypes represent unfinished work and may contain bugs or other unintended behavior. Alright. That's actually playable. We're actually playing Asteroid Blaster by Jordan Mechner.
Wait, where were you and where did you die?
Oh, I think I pressed like the self-destruct button. Yo, this is like 1981 gaming, chat. This is vintage gaming.
Vintage.
You know, like, oh, you're a retro streamer? You're not a retro streamer until you play a game from 1981. Yo, a saucer? There's a flying saucer? Gotta get it. No, it shot
Dude, he
me!
shot you!
Can't believe the
You got
shot.
space invaded.
What do you think is the story of asteroids?
I don't know. Like, aside from the immediate obvious, I don't know why you're out in space destroying asteroids.
If only you could talk to the asteroids.
If only you could persuade them using your speechcraft skill. Maybe they wouldn't be quite so asteroidy.
Game over. I like how you can like save state this. That's pretty cool. Roll for persuasion, make peace with aliens. Exactly. Remember my family having a computer that used that kind of floppies, but the only game thing it had was one of those 3D Tetris where the pieces fall from the screen. I hate those so much. I hate top-down first-person Tetris so much. I hate it so much.
Awful.
I hate it so much that I actually, for years, didn't play Clax because for some reason I thought Clax was one of those. Hey, Ice Claw. Jordan Mechner, Yale man. In the fall of 1981, when he was 17, Jordan entered Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. A few hours train ride away from his family home in Karateka, New York. There he started taking karate classes and joined the Film Society. It's interesting to look at like photos of people when they were super young and you kind of look at it, it's like, oh yeah, that definitely does look like you. And sometimes you look at people and you're like, that looks nothing like you.
Yeah.
Okay, Star Blaster. By the end of 1981, Hayden still had not published Jordan's game and was requesting that he make further changes to make it less similar to the arcade game on which it was originally based. This included more title changes, first to Space Rocks and then to Star Blaster. Ah yeah, blast my Space Rocks, baby. Would you love me if I was a Space Rock?
I mean, yeah, but I would be very concerned.
Why?
Because you're a space rock.
What if I had like googly eyes?
That doesn't change the statement.
March 1982, a later version of Jordan's Asteroid Blaster, an unofficial clone of the popular Atari arcade game Asteroids. Okay, yeah, this is the same description. Let's play Star Blaster. God, I love history. I love that this is like an actual release. I love shit like this. Can you tell the difference?
Not really, no. They're all pretty similar. Like the ship looks different. The UI is definitely different. The rocks are also a bit smoother in shape.
Do you think our ship is a V? Or like a greater or lower sign? Okay, what the fuck is that?
I think it's just like a pointed wedge-shaped ship.
Or do you think like we're an alpha sign?
No, I think you're just a pointed ship. Can you,
Oh,
wait,
okay.
can you shoot yourself?
Yeah,
or did
you
you
can
get
shoot.
shot at the skull?
No, I shot myself. No, Skull, don't shoot me. Okay, we did it. This is what $20 of entertainment got you in the 80s. And you'd enjoy it. The star, Jimmy, the star!
The star, Jimmy!
Get the star! 50,000? How do you get 50,000 in Starfighter? Or Star Blaster, whatever it is. God, I love that movie. I fucking love The Wizard and how stupid it is.
I don't know if I would say that I loved The Wizard, but it was a very interesting movie to watch, we'll call it.
It is so quotable. 50,000? How you get 50,000 Double Dragon? Jimmy, how you get 50,000? Jimmy! Tell me! If you were a space rock and got close to giving Necro a kiss, you'd pass the Roche limit and disintegrate in fiery glory. Yes, I would. And the last one you were shooting asteroids, and this one you're shooting rocks. Oh, okay. It's clearly the beak of someone going smiley face, I agree. You're an Imperial Star Destroyer. I don't... Wait. No, it's the 80s. Star Wars was a thing by then. Jimmy! Jimmy, 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 Jimmy! Let's hear it for Jimmy! I can't remember his last name. I'll say Rejects. Ninja Gaiden! What else was there? Yeah, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. That one's like the most famous one. And it's just Jimmy staring. Like 1,000 yards staring, just going, California. California. Oh yeah, that's yeah. After Jordan submitted this version of Star Blaster, the publisher suggested even more radical changes, such as redesigning the game so the player does not fire any bullets and only dodges the asteroids. Jordan declined to make such changes. He told them he'd change the asteroids to soap bubbles, but nothing more, and Hayden Software never published the game. Damn, this is just like today. This is literally just like today. Publisher comes in, it's just like, what if you change it like this? And you're like, but then it's not the same game. Like, yeah, tough shit.
Yeah, man who has no idea what he's doing in regards to making video games has a brand new bright idea hot for your desk today, employee. It's the dumbest thing you ever heard.
Sadly, that man has the money. Also, I love how my head is so big you can't see people's speech bubbles. You can only see my head.
I guess we'll have to take care of that.
I think that's about getting fucking sued by Fox for using one of the Star Wars theme riffs in the Ulysses 31 OST.
Power up!
Oh, hi, I'm a mouse now. I think I make a pretty good mouse.
You're a pretty good mouse.
I think I'd be better as a rat, but I think as a mouse I'm pretty okay. Jordan the Journaler. At the beginning of his second semester at Yale, Jordan began keeping a daily journal. He kept this up all throughout his college career and beyond, meticulously documenting the development of his early Apple II games. I love that emote. January 27th, 1982. About this journal. My basic intention is to write down at the end of each day what happened, what I did, thought, felt, and so forth, so I can read it years from now and remember what it was like. February 1882. I missed all my classes today. Music, philos discussion, group, sociology. Shit, what's the matter with me? Damn, wait, we gotta like put that entry here, game. 3 game concepts. Having abandoned Star Blaster, Jordan started generating several ideas for original games, sticking within the arcade shooter genre. His intent was to write 3 of 4 games during his first summer break from Yale. Some are detailed here. Plague, Bubble, Blaster, and Satellite, later called Earth. Okay, let's zoom in.
Yeah, let's go zoom here.
I cannot read cursive on this screen.
Let's see here. Zoom in on Plague.
This is as much as I can zoom in.
Spiders come down on something on, I guess, poles.
Fast.
Based on
plus
color, I
slow.
guess.
Yeah, fast red, slow blue. Shoot
Yeah,
spiders
shoot
before they
spiders
hit the
before they hit the ground. Yeah.
yeah. Spark shoots up 5, evading it. If spike hits the ground, okay, you're shooting spiders. Bubble blaster. I guess this is like replacing asteroids with bubbles. Essentially asteroids,
Yeah, essentially asteroids.
But instead of rock shape, swap bubbles. Okay. Satellite. Protect the Earth. Okay, you rotate the satellite around. I think I've seen like this kind of game multiple times. Like, this was a pretty common idea. Do you have a satellite rotating around Earth? Apple Video Display Worksheet. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Snake.
Pole.
I can't believe we finally have some Polish representation in games. Your missiles, you, blind spot, bat's missile, bonus bat. Shoutouts to bonus bat.
That's like this chat room. We have bonus bats.
I love bonus bats so much. Okay. Sorry, I have to clear my throat. You
mean ice bees?
Yeah, ice bees. Don't you have ice bees?
No, I don't actually.
You know what they say about ice bees? They're pretty cool. Icebreaker screen layout. Another idea, Icebreaker had the player's ship at the top of the screen, avoiding ice bees and shooting down through a layer of ice to hit enemy bases on the ocean floor. Allow me to break the ice. Revenge of the Arcadians. Another unproduced concept was Revenge of the Arcadians, which would have combined many different familiar-looking enemies from arcade game culture in the single asteroid-style shooting contest. Damn, is this a fan game? It's
okay, but that's really funny though.
It's all my favorite guys. It's the Pac-Man monsters. It's Corkscrew. The Space Invaders are here. Berserk Robot. Everybody's here.
Why do I know the Berserk game, like the Berserk arcade game? There was some reason.
Because it was like, had digitized voices. I think it's the first game with digitized voices or something.
I think so.
Okay, well, let's look at them. Okay, we have Armor Attack, Asteroids, Berserk, Galaxian was here, Monaco GP, Pac-Man, Phoenix 1, Phoenix 2. I don't actually know what Phoenix 1 and Phoenix 2 is. Shootout, Space Invaders, Star Castle. Tempest was not there. They canceled Tempest. Damn. Is this like the original Smash Brothers?
Essentially.
I can't believe Jordan Mechner predicted Smash Bros. Ready? Game over. I love needing to design fonts as well. Snackman. That's a good pun. Revenge of the Arcadians. Layout plan. Invader 1, Invader 2, Invader 3. Invader XP. Okay, these are like their squiggly attacks. Space Invaders, from Head On. Pac-Man, Invaders, Asteroids, Star Castle, Battleship. Damn, this was like there was such big scope. It was like oh, has the same energy as like, okay, I'm making my first game. It's an MMO. It's an open world MMO RPG. Gonna start
Okay,
with the
but
plot.
to be fair, he made other games by this point.
Yes. Got a good thing going here. It's March 11th. The Apple is still the #1 computer. Arcade games are the #1 sellers, and I'm writing Apple II arcade games, so I should churn them out and make pots of money while I can. This summer I'll write 3 or 4. I should establish a working relationship with some other publisher, not Hayden. Serious, Broderbund? I like how it's like not Hayden. I'm done with Hayden. I'm glad he has the I hate my first job or first publisher thing going. I can relate to that. Enter Deathbounds. In the end, the game that Jordan decided to create next was Deathbounds, another take in the asteroid genre. This one would feature multicolored bouncing balls that ricochet off the walls of the arena. Balls. So those are the balls. Unlit wall segment. Killer arrows. Your missile. Deathbounds designs. I like how, like, all of these ships' design look the same, but they're actually all different. But it's just like what you have to work with. Yeah, that's a good font though. That's an arcade font.
Wait, why the little squiggly lines through the letters? Is that like the order it has to be drawn in? Or are those levels? That's surely not levels. Like they're supposed to be like how the computer had to draw the text.
Maybe it was just something for him to like draw it so it looked like, maybe like he drew the lines and then drew it around the lines, like the border.
Maybe.
Because it's not like how it's drawn, because like a line goes multiple times through the same pixel. I think it's just like planning out and then drawing it on the paper. March 21st, I got a letter from Doug Carlston at Broderbund regarding software submission. I like Broderbund. I'll send them a letter describing Bounce. Doug's letter mentioned that they might even pay airfare for programmers to come work with them. Wow, out in sunny California. Oh man, I want so bad. April 17th. I hereby wow, no more work on this project till Friday, until psych paper, history paper, psych test, philosophy paper, music are out of the way. Then finish the game during reading period. And then a week of exams, and whoops, freshman year will be over and I'll have to pack my stuff and go home. Letter to Broderbund, March 1982. As he neared completion of the first version of Deathbound, Jordan reached out to the publisher Broderbund to gauge its interest. He finished programming on April 28, 1982. It moved Broderbund on disk on April 29th. Okay, well I guess he stuck to his plan in the journal. Dear Mr. Carlson, I've written an Apple game, Deathbound, that I'd like you to consider publishing. It's a machine language, high-risk, shoot-'em-up video game. They actually used the term shoot-'em-up back then? Whoa. If you're interested, please let me know and I'll send you a copy on disc. Nowadays, everybody just calls it shmup. Deathbounds version 1. The first version of Deathbounds implements the elements seen in Jordan's original design on paper. Multicolored balls bounce up passively around the playfield, plus a large white ball called the Rover, inspired by the 1960s British TV show The Prisoner. It specifically targets the player's ship. The player can put up a temporary shield that causes enemies to bounce off of them. Well, you gotta play this.
Well, yeah.
Before Karateka, Jordan created this arcade-style shoot-'em-up known as Deathbounds. This was the first playable prototype. I took it down to the computer store on Temple Street to see it in color. Jordan wrote in his journal on April 28th, 1982. It was so beautiful, words cannot describe. The people in the store were very enthusiastic. The first version of Deathbounds was pure gameplay, no story or characters, with a stark, clean look inspired by popular arcade shooting games. There was just asteroids with walls and key cards. When you think about it, everything is kind of Doom. Like, my streams are basically Doom with, like I'm a talking head. Like, my mouth moves like in Doom. I'm basically Doom. And you throw shit at
We're all
me.
basically Doom.
Yeah. And you throw projectiles at me until I die. Spyro on my fucking monitor? Well, you're in Australia, so that Spyro could technically kill you, right?
Yeah, are we talking like a huntsman spider or like a little itty bitty baby spider?
Are we talking like a spider with a gun or with a shiv? Actually, it would probably have like a spoon, right? Like that's what Australian spiders do, knifey spoony.
I don't think they do any of that actually.
You don't know knifey spoony?
No.
It's a bit
But I
from
am,
this.
however, I'm currently imagining a huntsman spider crawling over the top of your monitor.
It has a trigger to Australia's nuclear weapons. It's pretty bad. No, it's a bit from The Simpsons where they're in Australia and they're sitting in like a pub and Bart is like playing with a tiny pocket knife, and an Australian guy comes over and is like, "Oh, you call that a knife? This is a knife," and he pulls out a spoon, and Bart says, "That's not a knife, that's a spoon," and the Australian just chuckles. "Ah, I see you've played knifey spoony before." My shield! I have a shield! Yeah, this is kind of fun. You could make a roguelike out of this.
Make a roguelike out of most things, but I agree. See, the problem is I will never understand like any Simpsons reference because I did not like The Simpsons and still don't, so I never watched it.
That's fine, I'll just make them regardless. You don't make Simpsons references, or you don't stop making Simpsons references just because people don't get them. That's even more reason to do Simpsons references, because when they say I don't get it, then you have to explain it. And then you get to talk about your joke. And then you can go like, haha, that knifey spoony thing was so funny, and B, you're so clever. And I'm like, thank you, I stole that joke myself. That episode is a classic here, I can imagine. Sorry, this game is so good, I want to play another round. No! How did that not hit?
What did we learn?
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
I was gonna say don't fly so fast, but yes.
Power up.
Also, hey, Bridget.
Hey, Bridget. Damn, Nova Beast. Damn.
Nova Beast, more like Bofa Beast, because I Bofa this game and lost. I don't know where I was going with that.
Bofa these nuts.
Letter to Bruderbrunn, April 1982. Letter from Jordan Mechner to Doug Carlson, CEO of Bruderbrunn, accompanying the Deathbounce disc. Jordan wrote this letter on the same day that he finished the first version of Deathbounce. He didn't have a color monitor in his dorm room, so he had to verify the colors at his local computer store. Well, let's see. Dear Mr. Carlson, the enclosed disc contains a copy of Deathbounce, the Apple game I described in my letters of 22nd March and April 14th. You telephoned on April 20th and asked to see it. To run the game, type Brune Deathbounce. Since the program keeps track of the top 10 scores on disk, the disk should be left in the drive with the door closed while the program is running. The object of the game is to score points by shooting the bouncing balls. The game ends when your supply of ships has run out. Green and violet balls are worth 25 points. Red and blue balls are worth 50 points. The white ball, Rover, is worth 100 points. A bonus ship is awarded 2,000 points, and from then on, for every 4,000 points. I can't read. The following keys control your ship. A. Rotate left. S. Stop rotating. D. Rotate right. The space bar turns shield on and off. Left arrow thrust and right arrow fire. The push button, these controls are insane by the way. The push buttons may be used to rotate instead of the A, S, and D keys. Press 1 to rotate left, 0 to rotate right. If you're using game pals, you may want to tape them together. During the game, you can also use escape, freeze and unfreeze the screen, control S, turn sound on and off, and control A, abort game. The disk, by the way, is a control data, which means that you should probably close, reopen, and reclose the door of the Apple drive after inserting the disk to make sure it centers properly. Oh, we're burger mode again. Hi.
Oh yeah.
If you have any questions or problems, feel free to call. My number is this till May 11th and after May 11th. I'm not gonna read out the man's number. A letter from Bruderbund. Oh man, they have a different font? Hell yeah. Dear Jordan, although I wrote you about a week ago, I can't find a copy of the letter in the file, so it's possible the letter got zapped before printing. On the theory that 2 letters are better than none, I thought that I'd give you my reactions to Deathbounce again. Basically, we think you're excellent programmers and hope to work with you. As I said on the phone, the main problem with Deathbounce is the lack of visual complexity. Although clean lines are essential, complexity needs to be introduced at some level, either by adding new and unexpected events at different stages of the game, or by adding elements of complexity in the strategy. Your game is too simple right now. Nonetheless, we would like to continue to work with you, either in elaborating on Deathbounce, or if you prefer, in designing and developing an entirely new game. Write or call and give us your reaction, and we will respond with a concrete proposal. I do want to add a personal apology. My secretaries don't ordinarily lose my letters. I put them onto the Corvus for my office, and they run them off out in theirs, then delete them. I suspect that the latter 2 functions got reversed. Okay. I kind of want to, like, pitch a game like this to somebody at some point. Just write a letter that explains the game like this.
Send it via snail mail.
Exactly. Deathbounce version 2. Jordan began work on a new version of Deathbounce on June 1st, 1982. On June 4th, he turned 18. On June 15th, he mailed this new version to Bruderbund. The roller ball was now a wedge shape, an on-screen power gauge now showed your remaining shield energy, and the balls now cycle through a series of colors before disintegrating. Okay, well, Twitch wants its blood money, chat, so we're gonna run some ads for a little bit, and then we're gonna play some Deathbounce version 2.
Deathbounce version 2!
Deathbounce version 2.
Wow! Also, I'm gonna be right back while the ads run.
Uh-huh. Actually, I'm gonna be right back as well, chat. Hang in there. I need water. Yes. Okay, Chad, how much of that conversation did you hear? Ugh, because I forgot to mute my mic. Heard everything. Not much of any? Oh, okay. 0.3%. Yeah, Necro's making toast sandwiches. And she didn't offer me any.
What were they thinking?
I don't know what they were thinking. Also, hey, Fiona. This is actually a pretty chunky documentary. Like, we're not even through chapter 1. I don't think we're gonna do the entire thing tonight, but I just wanted to kind of, just mess around with it. If you like it, you should probably get it yourself as well. I think we should support all endeavors of games preservation. Okay, chat. Ads are over. Partner is still MIA, so we're gonna wait for partner to return. How have you been doing, chat? Why? Why make me Game Boy Color? Alright, but tired? As in like early mornings where you were flying on from the future. That filter works uncannily. Well, I really like it, yeah. That's why I decided to make it a redeem. I'm due to sleep in 1 to 2 hours. Well, make sure to get rest. I'm due to sleep in like an hour-ish probably after I will wrap this up because I have another early morning. I will say the only streaming issue I have with this model is the same one I have with the Atlas Angelo model, as in that it's too chunk. So I have to keep my hands apart. Otherwise it's too much flipping. I just had an hour nap after early morning errands. I've been trying to avoid naps when I can. So instead I just power through with an energy drink. Oh, hello beautiful partner. How is your sandwich?
Why do you have to be mean to me? Do I not deserve sandwich?
Do I not deserve a sandwich? Where's my sandwich?
You didn't ask for one when you came out.
You didn't offer one.
You could have asked for one, but you're also like, I don't like chorizo.
I don't like chorizo, actually, it's true. But you could have offered like a bread sandwich. Like a bread and ice cube sandwich. We have ice cubes in the tray.
I would have just made. I would have made
trails, but I'm not going to tell it.
I would have just made you a cheese sandwich first of all.
No, you take like toast bread and you put like an ice cube in between, and that's the ice cube sandwich. Who
and he
hates
doesn't like chorizo.
I don't like chorizo. It's too greasy. I don't like the taste. Anyway, Death Bounce. Yeah, that's Death Bounce. The second version of Death Bounce created after Jordan's first submission to Broderbund, the publisher suggested he add more visually interesting elements. This new version that Jordan sent them a month later changed the shape of the rover, added new energy bar for the shield, and had balls cycle through a series of colors. Colored balls. Who doesn't like colored balls?
I mean, I know I do. I like colored balls.
What's your favorite colored ball?
My favorite colored ball? Well, one of my favorite colors is like purple, so I'd probably go for like a purple ball.
I was at work today and went out to talk with a friend / colleague. He was like, "Oh, you really like purple, don't you?" I was wearing my bright purple hoodie, and I'm like, "Yes, yes, I do. It's a good color." Gold or green? I do like the combination of gold and black. I think it's a powerful combo.
Yeah, gold and black is very good. A very deep, bit washed out purple. And gold is very pretty. I also quite like pink. But I prefer pink with black.
Ah, yes, the plank. Letter to Broderwood, June 1982. Dear Doug, enclosed is death bounce. I've made the following changes. 1. The balls come in 4 colors, red, violet, blue, and green. When you shoot a ball, if it's red, it explodes. If it's violet, it turns red. If it's blue, it turns violet. If it's green, it turns blue. I think you should have probably explained that in the other direction, but okay. So, red balls take 1 shot to kill, violet balls take 2 shots, blue 3, and green 4. The first screen starts with 4 red balls, the second with 4 violet, the third with 4 blue, and the fourth with 4 green, and the fifth with 5 green, and the sixth with 6 greens, and so on. Screens 10 and up have 10 greens, hitting a ball scores 25 points, so red balls worth 25, violet 50, blue 75, and green 100. The bonus for clearing a screen is equal to the total number of points scored in that screen, which is 100 times the screen number up to screen 10, 1000 points for screens 10 and up. A bonus ship is awarded for every 3000 points. Also, the balls get faster in later screens. 2. The amount of shield energy left is shown as a red band across the top of the screen. In addition, the shield flashes on and off in warning just before it runs out. The shield runs out quite fast, but is recharged every time the screen is cleared. This adds another dimension of difficulty because later screens take longer to clear. Rover is no longer a big white ball, but a wedge, which is more visually interesting since you can see in which direction he is pointing. The interval between rovers increases towards the end of each screen, and with successive screens also rover gets faster and smarter. Rover is worth 100 points. 4. I've made a few minor graphics changes as well. For example, the screen border blinks whenever the player's ship bounces off of it. The player's missiles are always blue instead of sometimes blue and sometimes red, etc. Okay. These are actually pretty big changes based on feedback. The controls are the same. To play, Brune Death Bounce. Looking forward to hearing your reaction. Are we gonna see the reaction? We are. Let's see. Dear Jordan, I gave our shipping department your folder to send out the joystick to you, and the folder never came back. So while they try to figure out where it went, I'm going to write you a second letter that repeats my earlier comments just in case the earlier stuff got lost in the system. Why do all of their letters keep getting lost? There are a lot of things that I like about Death Bounce. However, most of us feel that it still lacks 3 very important ingredients. First, ease of use. If you can figure out how to use the joystick to control the entire game, that problem will be obviated. A keyboard-only mode is okay too. You can get around the lack of a true keyboard stroke by using 2 keys and having the first press in the center direction stop rotation and the second reverse it. The second is animation identification. People are enamored over cartoons. They want to see identifiable little creatures that do recognizable things. Changing round balls to birds of prey that flap their wings as they attack changes the whole feeling of the game. Use of a creature object to represent the player also seems to increase interest. The third item is unexpected tweaks. New monsters, not just different colors, that have new motions or even intelligence. Perhaps the shape of the playing field changes gradually over each level. The point is that the changes must be something of sufficient visual or aural interest to drive people further into the game out of pure curiosity. Most people will not struggle repeatedly to get to the next level just to see what color you use next. There has to be more driving them. That's all I have to say about Death Bounce now. As I have said before, your work is obviously of publishable quality, and you are an outstanding programmer with whom I hope we work for a long time. It is for this reason that I want to discuss a new game concept with you. We still want Death Bounce. I'm not trying to steer you away from that, but I want you to be thinking of another one even as you wrap this up. This new idea is already being programmed for the Atari computers and game machine. However, we have no one working on it for the Apple, and your smooth use of shapes to do rotations and Death Bounce made me think of you right away when this game idea was developed. Look it over and then tell me what you think. We want to get someone on this, so I'd appreciate hearing if you're interested.
Honestly, I kind of agree with the feedback, though.
Yeah. Tiny Planets, a description of a game that Bourbon wanted Jordan to program for the Apple II. It's yet another play on asteroids, only this time the player can land on the different asteroids and a tiny person can jump out of the ship and collect gold nuggets on their surface. The player can then fly to the intergalactic bank to deposit their cash. Jordan declined to create the game. Damn. Well, okay, let's see the Tiny Planets pitch. There are several asteroid-like objects spinning slowly and moving horizontally across the middle portion of the screen. On each asteroid are a few small pieces of gold. You control a spaceship that travels among the asteroids. By judicious use of your joystick, you can reverse your ship and land on the asteroids. At that point, the left-right action of the joystick controls a small man, actually almost the same size as the ship, who emerges and runs around the asteroid gathering up the gold. When he is returned to the ship and the joystick is pressed forward, the ship takes off. Okay, so they're basically describing Helldivers. There are several places to go. In the lower left-hand area is a large stable planet that serves as armory. There you can land and trade a piece of gold for a nose rocket. Actually, it happens automatically when you land. If you fly to the right long enough and the screen scrolls with you, you will come to another large planet which houses the intergalactic bank where you can deposit your money and increase your score. You can also withdraw it from time to time to buy nose rockets. Your rocket can carry 5 pieces of gold if you don't have a nose rocket and 3 if you do. Nose rockets are useful, even necessary, to protect you against the predation of the Empire battleship that hovers into view every once in a while at the top of the screen, scrolling slowly from one side of the screen until it is lost to the side. Okay, actually no, it's not. It's not Helldivers. It's EVE Online.
It's EVE Online.
Power up.
Oh no, I've glitched out. No.
No, I can't believe you're broken. No.
My body is as broken as my soul. Mankind ill needs a VTuber such as myself. At this point you had better be well hidden behind an asteroid, since otherwise you are zapped. If however you have a nose rocket, you can line up on the unfolding gun turret and let fly. Your rocket will destroy the turret. If you destroy all these turrets, the battleship herself might become vulnerable, although you would have to fly right into the loading dock and let fly with a nose rocket into the material. Occasionally a drone fire will emerge from the battleship as well, although they are much slower than you are at full speed. They do not have your problems in steering among the asteroids without collision, and their relentless pursuit can stymie all of your mining exploration plans. Our details can be fleshed out once the game has been designed and the practical problems of implementation emerge. This feels very complicated.
Yes, it sounds exceedingly complicated.
I've seen some real horror stories of companies working exclusively with faxes, when the faxes are literally computers accepting the faxes, OCRing them, and then faxing out the computer prepared letter to the other computer. Yeah, I know like Japan is notoriously heavily using faxes still, or at least that's
Wait, really?
Yeah, they use faxes a lot in Japan. I don't know if they've phased them out, but like a decade ago they were still using faxes. Okay, Deathbound's version 3. Jordan finished a third version of Deathbound, adding elements based on Carlson's suggestions, a joystick option, more animation on the bouncing balls, and a little man resembling the people in Brotherhood's game Choplifter who climbs into and out of the spaceship. Yo, we get a little man? Okay, let's see the little man. Yo, it's a little man! Oh my god, he entered the spaceship! Oh my god, it's a little man!
A little man!
Ah, to be a little man that entered the spaceship.
If only.
No, dude. See, I wasn't really sold in this game. But then when they added the little man, I'm like, ooh dog, give me that. Give me the good shit. I want the little man. Hey, Eden. Oh, you hold the shield now, it's not a toggle. We actually have like inertia. Oh, you can't hold. You don't have all the fire? What the hell, game developers? What were they thinking?
It was a different era.
People just like pressing buttons.
Oh my god, you move so fast.
I'm telling you, you should make a roguelike out of this. Well, not you, but like somebody should make a roguelike out of this. Somebody in chat, get to it. Get me Jordan Macron on the line. I have a game idea.
I have a game idea. I want to talk about Death Bounce. He's just like, oh my god.
It's even called Death Bounce. It's like a perfect roguelike name. Death Bounce. I live, I die, I bounce, I live again. Death bounce. Once you die, you have to bounce back. Hey, Tio, how's it going?
Hey, Tio.
Charge it!
I would charge a lot of money for it, yeah. $20. That's a fair roguelike price. Or you can make Death Bounce a Vampire Survivors like. You could make this a Vampire Survivors like, I think.
Do you remember the trend on the PS1, like very early PS1, of like taking old arcade games and like trying to like modernize them for the PS1?
Do I remember that? I've had that as a stream idea multiple times.
Yeah, the Pong game where like where they were like 3D and like they had like different like fancy like backgrounds and it was like semi-isometric and like there were like power-ups that like let you grab the ball and shit. And they were all expressive little bars. Oh my god.
Have you ever heard of the PC game Mortal Pong?
No.
It was like a freeware game where it was Pong, but it was like Mortal Kombat. And it even had like Mortal Kombat arcade bios, like you know the track mode biographies for each paddle.
Yeah. It's really funny.
Mortal Kombat.
Also, I have to be honest, I have one giant gripe with this video game. They referred to these colors as red. It is most definably orange.
Actually, if you play this on an original CRT, the scan lines make the orange actually red.
Ah, yes, of course. If you play on an original CRT, your asshole explodes.
God, I wish.
The little man's just like, I got no more ships. That's it. I'm out of ships.
Oh damn, I finally got to the high score list. E N B N B. That's me. Yeah, Malik. Letter to Bruderbund. Okay, letter from Jordan to Carlson explaining the features of the new Deathbound version. He notes that he has appended a proposed storyline to explain what the player is doing in a spaceship, bouncing around and shooting things. I want to hear the story of Deathbound.
Oh my god.
Dear Doug, first, about Tiny Planets. I appreciate the offer, but there are some game ideas that have been knocking around in my head for a while and which I'd really like to do more. I'll pass Tiny Planets up, but thanks anyway. Second, here's the latest, and I hope the last version of Deathbound. I made the following changes. Joystick option. It requires self-centering joystick, potentiometer or Atari, with one button. Push joystick left and right to rotate, push forward to thrust, and pull back to shield. Oh my god, do you know what that means, hun?
No.
It means the shield is like blocking in fighting games. You can't move forward and block at the same time.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I guess that is true. I guess I would be like that.
Yeah. Hey, Jin Jin. Again, button 0 fires. The program automatically adjusts itself to the player's joystick, so make sure the joystick is plugged in and centered, not held down to one side when you run a death bounce. Spinning balls. The balls have white stripes and appear to be spinning. Little man. The player is represented by a little man, and he resembles to one of the 64 delegates to the UN Conference on Peace and Child Rearing is purely intentional, smiley face, who runs across the bottom of the screen and climbs into a spaceship. The spaceship is then beamed up into the playing arena with the player inside. When the ship is exploded, the player is beamed down to safety at the bottom of the screen, where he runs across again and climbs into the next spaceship. To make the game a little easier, I've given the player 4 ships to start instead of 3 and made a rover worth 200 points instead of 100. I've been trying to come up with a scenario to explain what the player is doing in a spaceship bouncing around shooting things. Here's the one I liked best. Jordan's Death Bounce Manual. Let's go. Oh, we have backstory. I love this. Jordan invented fighting games? Yeah. Why do you have to be little man? It's just a game. I love saying little man. It's such a good phrase. Death Bounce. The year is 6412. The galaxy has been at peace for as long as anyone can remember, but the last of the old military bases, now unmanned and forgotten, is still orbiting the planet once defended, the planet Earth. Suddenly, a fireburst fills the sky. The ancient satellite has exploded, showering the planet with fallout and loosing hundreds of bombs and missiles. The Earthlings instantly surround the contaminated area with an enormous, elastic envelope. For the moment, disaster has been averted. But inside the envelope, where the temperature is 2,000 degrees centigrade, bombs and missiles bounce around furiously. The envelope won't last long. The lethal bouncing weaponry in there must be destroyed. And that's where you come in. You, Earth's best pilot, will be beamed inside the envelope in a custom-built spaceship outfitted with thrusters, a protective shield, and plenty of ammo. Your mission: destroy everything that bounces. Every second counts. The whole Earth is watching you on TV with crossed fingers. Go to it. That's a pretty good backstory. That's a pretty good backstory. Rules: when you shoot a bomb, its temperature goes up. A bomb's temperature is indicated by its color. Red is the hottest a bomb can get. When you shoot a red bomb, it explodes. Then there are the rover missiles that home in on your ship. Rovers only take one shot to destroy, but they're tricky. Bombs score 25 points, rovers score 200 points. You get 4 ships. When the ships you're in is destroyed, you are instantly beamed to safety outside the envelope, where another ship will be waiting for you. New ships arrive at the rate of 1 every 3,000 points. Your score is at the top left of the screen. Your remaining ships at the bottom left, the number of the level you're on at the bottom right, and the high score and the score's initials at the top right. The red bar across the top of the screen indicates the amount of shield energy your ship has. Controlling your ship. Joystick left and right to rotate, forward to thrust, back to shield, and push 0 button to fire. Keyboard: A to rotate left, S to stop rotating, D to rotate. Or button 1 to rotate left, button 0 to rotate right. Space to turn your shield on and off, left arrow to thrust, and right arrow to fire. Special keys: escape to freeze the game, hit any key to unfreeze, Control S to turn sound on and off, so Control A to abort game. Jordan's journals. Carlson said, among other things, that the game is 1. Too monotonous, 2. Too hard at first, and 3. Too much of straight shoot 'em up without making much use of maneuvering, which is its best feature, and 4. Too visually boring. I agree on all counts. Oh, that's good. Skipping class making games? Oh no, Jordan Mechner was an undergraduate at the prestigious Yale University when he created Death Bounce and Karateka, but his obsession with perfecting his games meant he had a lot of trouble keeping up with his studies. Time to watch a movie. But
Audience gasp noise.
Yeah. I love how many 70s, 80s arcade games had this massive sci-fi backstory about some elaborate alien form and the game just bouncing all around the screen. I think it's very charming. I think we need more of that in life. Instead, now everything is just either memes or like super real sci-fi or whatever, or silly psychological deep plot. I don't want that. I just want to be Little Man in a spaceship.
Jordan was from a different world when I met him.
I don't think I ever heard a single college-related story from him. He was in a different world. I think college was just a place he lived. At least that's the impression that he gave.
What did you think about me making games? The fact that I was in college, but I was taking my computer with me and spending most of my time on these games.
You know, I always encouraged everything you wanted to do. I was indiscriminate.
My mom would have killed me.
That's right. I don't remember you ever trying to discourage me or telling me that I should focus on my studies.
In our family, that's what works best. People follow their passions, and that usually leads to a good result.
And so Jordan was this really, like, his father played Go, his father played chess, just a very intellectual background, and yet Jordan was so into pop culture. Jordan loved all of the movies that have come out, Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all of those other movies, and also classics of cinema. So he's well versed in all of it. So he's this intellectual, like consummate intellectual, but is super into pop art forms as well. And I think Jordan managed to sort of gain control of his life, and everything else sort of fell away from that. His studies and everything, he started forgetting about.
I mean, I was getting pretty bad grades my freshman year. I was struggling. I had to drop a bunch of classes because I was spending all my time programming games. Did you even know that?
That didn't worry me because I knew that was common among high achievers.
Hey, I had that
Same
right
thing with
sometimes.
Bill Gates. Although I think Bill's departure from Harvard was involuntary, but a lot of these guys, they're just in too much of a hurry to get on with it and didn't want to spend any more time wasting their time.
Also, Master is not a piece of shit like Bill Gates, to my knowledge. Increased class cutting, decreased homework, going to sleep later and later, mess piling up on my desk, putting things off, D- in German midterm, 4 out of 10 on CS assignment. D- in German. D- is basically like, fine, you don't fail. Deathbounds gets an intro? Holy shit. Jordan spent much
Hell yeah, let's go.
Jordan spent much of his 1982 winter break making what would turn out to be the final update to Deathbounds. It now had a story and brief cinematic sequences. The player now boarded a space train, advancing from car to car, defeating enemies. At the front of the train, the player destroys a power generator and then escapes. Holy shit! Letter to Bruderbund. This was January 1983. But it says January 1982. What the heck? Oh, wait.
Oh, it was a mistype.
Mistyping is here, okay. Thank you for clarifying. To be fair, it's January. I always like mistype and write the previous year when it's January. You know, it's like January 2 and you're like, oh, it's 2020 again. And you just like, oh no, actually it's 2025. The letter took a year to arrive. Dear Doug, sorry for the long delay. There is still a lot of work remaining to be done on Deathbound, but since the new term of classes had just started, and I suspect that I may not get back to Deathbound till spring break in March, I thought I'd send you what I have and get your reaction. The current version of Deathbound is unfinished and has a lot of rough edges and bugs. Even so, it should be enough to give you an idea of the direction the game has taken. Your mission is to board the enemy space train, which, say, is on its way to destroy your planet. Work your way up through 20 cars to the front of the train, fire a shot into the train's power generator, and then zip back through all 20 cars and escape out the back before the train blows up. The train is inhabited by evil bat-like creatures. You must destroy all the bats in each car. The gate to the next car then opens up. On higher levels, you will encounter mother bats who maintain the bat population by laying an egg every time you kill a bat. And our old friend Rover, the heat-seeking wedge. Rover just... everything changes, but Rover is eternal.
He's important. He's part of the culture.
Rover is like the original nemesis of video games.
No, Eden, it's fine. You can ask any of the bats in chat. They all lay eggs. Ask any of them.
These are evil space bats. The major changes and additions I plan to make are the mother bat. She doesn't look quite right for the part. The train explosion. At present, when the time comes for a train to blow up and you to get your bonus, nothing happens. When you pass through a gate, the program should cut to the outside view of the train to show you passing between cars. I'd like to hear any comments or suggestions you might have and discuss them with you, so that when I get back to the program, certainly by March, but hopefully before then, it will be for the last time, and what I send you will be the final version. I like how this is like so perfect. Like, he writes this massive fucking backstory, and then goes like, okay, anyway, I scrapped that. It was kind of dumb. Sorry. I know what I was thinking. Okay, Deathbounds version 4, the final version of Deathbounds, January 20th, 1983. The bouncing balls are now eggs thrown by the mother bat, which becomes smaller bats if not taken care of. The wedge-shaped rover still pursues the player, who has to maneuver the ship through the doors to get front of the space train.
I have to know if this game got published at some point.
The fourth and last version of Deathbounds that Jordan sent to Bruderbund was a total rework aimed at satisfying the publisher's desires for a more story and character-based experience. It was now set on a space train, with the character moving from car to car, defeating bat-like enemy creatures, and finally blowing up the train and escaping. Everyone still had criticisms of this version and told Jordan would not agree to publish it. No!
No!
But by that point, he had moved on to creating Karateka. Damn, we never got Death Bounce? Dude, what the fuck?
Man!
Yo, here's the cinematic.
Excuse me, that's actually quite impressive. I expected less.
Abandon ship! Abandon ship! Ah! Ah!
Wait, is there a button to press?
I guess? Game
Dude,
over?
you did... Is this the original Steel Battalion? Did you not eject? Did you lose your save data?
Oh shit. Okay, wait, is there a manual? Instruction manual? Wait, no, you can't, that's not an instruction manual. Show controls, okay. Abandon ship is Y. That's a new button. Okay. I think they should publish this. This is pretty cool. This is like they made like I thought that Sony fucking up Demon Souls was the biggest blunder of gaming, but I think not publishing this might have been an even bigger blunder.
This is actually pretty impressive.
Let me in! Let me in! Yo, is that the mother bat?
She's laying eggs, get them!
God, we don't even have a story for this. I want to hear a story. Which is it still the year 6200?
You move like a lost addled fly.
Nah, this game is sick. Yo, that's abandoned ship. Oh, we're going all the way back. Oh, that bad. Oh, I'm gonna get you. Oh, when I get my ship. Oh, I'm gonna get it. Oh, the rest of the asshole was the bats.
This game's incredible, dude.
Oh god. We need to get the motor bat. It's out of control.
He's laying hundreds of eggs.
Okay. We need to blow up at least like one convoy. Oh shit! No! Ah, the stupid bat. Oh, when I get it. Oh man. Oh, you're gonna get it. Wait, when I'm back with my ship. Oh, oh, stupid bat. Yeah, where am I? Where am I? Please shoot bat. There we go. Oh no, it moved slightly.
No, she moved.
Oh my god, yeah, and this is so fucking advanced. There we go. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Oh god. No! No! God damn it. How many convoys are there?
20. 20 down, 20 back.
Oh god.
So it's a 40 level game.
No. They're just like last ship.
I do think this respawn animation is quite helpful. I actually think the respawn animation added a lot.
I think they should publish this. What else were they publishing at this time? Choplifter? Who gives a shit about Choplifter? Game over. Damn.
That's so fucked up.
Focus testing. Brewman put Jordan's final version of Deathbounds in front of a focus group of gamers who delivered some fairly harsh criticisms. They passed these along with some concrete advice for how Deathbounds could continue to improve. Oh, good. Focus group feedback. Let's hear it. I love
Oh
focus.
boy, let's see how things have never changed.
I love focus feedback. Dear Jordan, Gary Carlson has taken product development. I love how they don't have the font for the O, so they cross out the O for Bruderbund. That's funny. At Bruderbund over from Doug, and I am assisting him for a few months. Doug is now president of the firm. We played your game Deathbounds for a small group called a focus group a few days ago, and I will pass along some of their comments. It is too hard to move between the cars. You, the shooting object, should have more mass. Take time to get up to the speed. You are still much too hard to control. I mean, I think it's funny, but okay. There should be more variety to the dangers in the cars. Each car should have different dangers, different shapes and movement. Even then, 10 cars could be plenty if you have to work up to the front of the and then back again. I suppose what they are saying is the bats get boring, and also it's not clear how you get rid of the mother bat. You shoot her? She seemed to disappear almost accidentally after several hits. Yeah, because you shot her. I noticed in Doug's letter of July 12 he brings up this very point. I'll quote his letter just in case you no longer have it. The third item is unexpected tweaks. New monsters, not just different colors, that have new motions or even intelligence. Or perhaps the shape of the playing field changes gradually or at each level. The point is that the changes must be something of sufficient visual or aural interest to drive people further into the game. Out of pure curiosity. Most people will not struggle repeatedly to get to the next level just to see what color you use next. There has to be more drive to them. The bounce would be better to include more karate. I shot the enemy and I can understand. To be fair, I do agree that it would be nice if the room said something else, but also I like the way it's phrased. There should be more variety to the dangers in the car. Each car should have different dangers. It's just like, I wish that each level in this game had a unique plot, and then like a unique character, and each character has a problem you have to solve, and then when you solve it, they move on, and then when you finish the game, you visit the hospital of all the enemies you have killed, and then you shake their hands because they're not dead, they're just in the hospital and you're friends now. I hope that these comments, along with your own list of additions and changes to be made, will help you to further develop Deathbounds. Publishing computer games is similar to publishing books, and it is rarely, if ever, that there is a final version until a great deal of interactive discussion, trial and error, and revision has gone on. Sometimes, a funny thing happens on the way to the final version and the author gets a new, better idea. But, however your game metamorphizes, we are happy to work with you and assist you whatever way we can. Letter from Bourbon, March 1983. The back and forth over Deathbounds having now gone for a full year, Jordan pushed Bruderbund to officially sign the game and pay him in advance. Bruderbund declined and Jordan decided to quit working on Deathbounds. Besides, he already had another game design in mind. I wish that each room contained its own Bethesda game, exactly. Have tea with the bats after beating them like 8 eyes, yeah. Dear Jordan, I'm truly sorry for not getting back to you before now. After the trip to Japan came the West Coast Computer Fair and lots of visiting programmers, so we did fall behind a little. I'm also sorry to have to report that we cannot give you an assurance that Deathbounds will be published, nor can we make an advance payment. We have done it occasionally in the past, and it usually has not worked out. You show a great deal of skill in moving shapes around in Deathbounds. I think you will agree if you have seen some of the newer games such as AE. I'm not sure what AE refers to. The sophistication and possibilities of game programming are increasing rapidly, and it is an exciting field. If you do find time to make changes to Deathbounds, or if you have a new game to submit, we would happy to see it. That's actually far less, like the description text sounded far harsher than the actual letter.
Yeah, a bit less scathing than advertised.
Yeah, Deathbounds, learning from rejection. Actually, maybe in the 80s it was like super scathing. Jordan thought Deathbounds was his ticket to video game superstardom, and it was, but not in the way he expected. The lessons Jordan learned from Bruderbund's rejection of Deathbounds led him to pursue something much more innovative and original. Ew. Let's look at that.
You did another one which was called Death Bounce, right?
Yeah, amazing. I'm amazed you can remember that. Yes, it was Death Bounce.
Death Bounce, yeah.
And it was kind of like Asteroids, but just different enough to be original. Instead of the asteroids, it was bouncing colored balls, like pool balls that ricocheted off the sides of the screen.
So what happened to that?
Well, that was the first game that I sent to Broderbund.
Oh yeah.
And I was in college. I was in my dorm room freshman year when the phone rang, and it was Doug Croston, the president of Broderbund, saying, "Thanks for sent the game on a floppy disk, in the mail." That's how they did it then.
He was in college, and by his own admission, spending a lot more time learning to program than studying sociology or whatever it was he was majoring in.
Whatever it was.
And I think his very first submission was something called Death Bounce. And I actually thought he was a pretty good coder, especially for somebody who obviously wasn't doing it full time. Although it turned out he was doing it a lot more full time than I realized.
And he said, it's well programmed, you're a good programmer, but this game is just a little bit old fashioned.
There was no plot, there was no story, there was nobody you cared about, there were just balls bouncing around doing different things. And although you could get away with that, I just thought it would be a much better product, not that particular one, but if he would try to come up with a storyline, a backstory for what he was doing. I did try to make it as much a not rejection as I could by telling him that I thought he was a keeper and he just needed to work on something that was a little bit different.
I got that phone call and he said, "I'm going to send you our new game, which is a big hit called Choplifter, so you can see what this year's games look like."
That was Danny Gorlin, and it was a straight submission. And initially there wasn't a game. He just was really interested in what it would take to make a joystick fly a helicopter on the screen. And then he added a little rescue thing, and we eventually, with him, turned it into a game.
And Choplifter was, you controlled a helicopter, and the idea was to rescue hostages.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of based on the Iran hostage crisis. And you had to fly your helicopter and rescue these little,
I played the
pixel
Master
high
System version of
characters
this.
running around in the desert. It's a very simple game.
Is it
let's
fun?
face
It doesn't look
struck me
amazing, but it looks like
told
it'd
the
probably be
story.
cute.
That inspired
It's
you
very
to think
hard.
About Karateka?
Yeah, because when I saw Choplifter, it's like the state of the art of games had advanced. And that was kind of a revelation to me, because I realized that all the games that I'd been trying to make, Asteroids and Death Bounce, were really inspired by those coin-op arcade games, where you had 3 lives and you tried to rack up as many points as you could. But then with the home computers, games were sold on floppy disks, so you actually owned the game. So when I saw Choplifter, I realized that there's no need to make those kind of games, where people are going to keep playing to try to get a high score. A game can actually have an end. At the end of Choplifter, it doesn't say game over.
Yeah.
Put your quarter in, it says the end. And so that was new at the time, so that sort of was part of the inspiration for Karateka, to do a game that would also tell a story.
Associated advances in gaming tech. Yeah, when I was just with very incremental advances until something explodes, I guess.
What do you mean, Tio? Aren't you excited for the 8th remake of The Last of Us, where it looks a bit more washed out and brown, and you can't tell which one is the new image or the old one? Because those are huge leaps in gaming tech. Huge.
Honestly, every time they release The Last of Us or Horizon Zero Dawn, I can't even tell the difference. Also, I cared about the bats as well. We have characters that can yassify all the characters with AI. I'm a proper hero. If you ever have yassified Envy, I can tell you it's going to be handcrafted, no AI involved. Ooh, Deathbounce Rebounded, created by the designers of Digital Eclipse. Deathbounce Rebounded returns back to original concept into an all-new modern twin-stick shooting experience. Okay, this is rad. I want to see this.
We have to. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Yo.
Let's fucking go.
Deathbounce.
Oh, hell yeah, let's fucking go, dude.
The year is 6430. For as long as anyone can remember, the galaxy has been at peace. But one fateful day, the planet's defense system spots an anomalous area of near-Earth objects. Scientists determine it is not a deadly meteor shower, but when it draws near close enough to identify, their relief turns to panic. Ancient but powerful ships, known to history only as space trains, are blasting at light speed towards the Earth, transporting a cargo of planet obliteration bombs. Earth's advanced technological defenses are useless in the face of this ancient enemy. In desperation, the Earth's government taps a top-secret, highly experimental project. The Pentagon calls them the Reflective Spacecraft Division. They call themselves the Death Bouncers.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
A single-man ship silently approaches an enemy train. The Death Bouncer. That is cool as fuck. See what we could have had? See what we could have had?
Oh, I'm so happy that somebody did something with it.
We could have had Death Bouncer Tuesday, but no. Yo, you have like multiple levels? It looks like an electric cigar.
Yeah, kinda. Yes!
Yo, get a load of. Yo! Whoa! This is cool as fuck. Dude!
Fucking Tetris Effect ass fucking video game.
Dude, this is the coolest thing ever. Holy shit.
Yo, it's the mother bat. You gotta stop her, dude. She's laying eggs. Oh, hell yeah, get the time bonus. Let's go. What is this?
Yo! Oh shit, it's Rover! Dude. This is the coolest shit I've ever seen.
This is actually pretty amazing. I am exceedingly invested, I cannot lie. Oh, I almost want to know what he thought of like this game. Because like obviously he worked with them to help them like have the shit to like make it, right? But I would like to see like his thoughts on like how it turned out. Like obviously it's very modern. That came out much later, but it's still pretty fucking amazing.
That is pretty cool.
Like I know that if I was in his position and someone wanted to do this, oh hell yeah, go back and fucking get a new ship. Let's fucking go. And I saw this and saw like somebody turn my idea that I like had worked tirelessly on into like a modernized but like still very faithful to its original thing and like actually officially release it. I would that'd be so fucking cool.
Ah shit. I got rovered.
Dirty.
Dude, I got rovered. I can't believe I got rovered after clearing stage 2. Oh, okay. So like when you enter the area, you're like on fire. So like you do damage.
You're like rainbow powered. Like you're a weapon when you enter the room, and when you finish it.
My body is a weapon. My body is a weapon that turns the bounces into death.
The death bounces.
Oh,
dude,
that's so sick.
Fire for it. Let's fucking go. Oh,
shit.
no.
Oh no. That's pretty cool though.
That's incredible.
Bravely, you battled through the enemy's strongest defenses and destroyed one train. when the brutal onslaught finally overcame you, you had no choice but to eject, speeding away from the galaxy as the remaining trains collided into planet Earth. Damn, we got the bad end.
That shit was sick.
Congratulations. Yeah, that was cool as fuck. Damn. Yo, we got a manual as well.
year was
Batbots,
this?
Big Birdie. Well, no, they made this now.
Well, yeah. Like, what? Okay, so it can't. This re-release was in 2023. Okay.
Yeah,
this
so it's like
real release was 2023.
40 years later. Big
40
Birdie.
years.
Yo, Twinkles cannot be destroyed, but they can destroy you. Damn. Yeah, this is actually sick. Fucking sick as hell. Jordan Jones, I'm psyched for Karateka. Fuck Death Bounce. What a waste. No, Jordan, Death Bounce was so cool, though. You can't just betray Death Bounce.
1983 Jordan, don't say such horrible things.
I can't believe it. It's okay.
Oh, what was up?
Jordan was upset. Jordan was upset. It's fine. I understand. The value of rejection. Would there even be a Karateka if Death Bounce had succeeded? Only after attempting to get rich quick off conversions of arcade games did Jordan land an original idea inspired by his own interests. Death Bounce bounced so you could run, Jordan. An idea takes shape. While developing Deathbound, Jordan begins work on a karate tournament simulator, but the early concept soon gave way to a different sort of game. Tomato Pie. The legendary Sally's a Pizza on Worcester Street in New Haven was a popular hangout for Yeelies, including Jordan. While another 1980 video game character was said to have been inspired by a pizza with one slice removed, Jordan's inspiration would have to come from elsewhere. I feel like they just put this here to say, like, hey, we have a photo of Jordan eating a pizza. Sally's a Pizza. Luckily, he death bounced back. Earth design document. Jordan had several arcade-style game ideas he wanted to work on during the 1982 summer break, and the first one he got started on was Earth, in which the player has to protect the blue planet at the center of the screen from various attacks. Yeah, I remember this. Diamond Mine. Oh god, that's a lot of numbers. Dude, how much graph paper did he have? He must have gone through that like crazy. Earth demo. This early demo seems to be as far as Jordan got with Earth. You can rotate around the planet and drop objects. Jordan initially wanted to finish programming this game by the end of July 1982, but got distracted by a new idea. Wait, that's not how you showed your Earth. That's not Europe. Are you showing America? Everybody knows that when you show planet Earth, you have to see Europe. The origins of Karateka. The Japanese martial art of karate was exploding in popularity in America in the early 1980s, and many members of the Mechner family began taking lessons. This inspired Jordan to create a one-on-one martial arts game simulating a karate tournament, although this initial idea didn't last long. He likes the Brazil, like the Master System.
Yeah, how Karateka got started. Do you remember how he got started, right?
So I was in college. It was my freshman year, I think, in college.
Yeah.
I probably came home on vacation.
Yeah.
At one point with this new project that was starting, and we were taking karate lessons at the local gym at Chappaqua. I remember that.
You were?
Well, Mom and Emily and I took some
that your
too.
mother and Emily were doing karate very vigorously.
Yeah, so I took karate lessons too that summer. I didn't get very good at it. I think I was a yellow belt or something like that.
Holy shit.
How did you come up with the idea of a villain and the prince and the princess? Where'd you get that from?
I think it was really Choplifter that gave me the idea that a game could tell a story. And then as to what the story was, since I knew that the gameplay would be a series of karate battles, it was really, you know, I just turned to the Bruce Lee movies.
Bruce Lee. Yeah.
The simplest kind of story. You know, it's always a series of karate battles leading up to the battle with the...
And the drama was when there's a problem and the hero has to solve it. Liberate a princess or...
I was trying to give it human interest. You know?
Yeah. Just wondered what the model for that was.
I mean, Disney was an influence for sure. I mean, thinking of films like Snow White or Pinocchio, you know, where you always had this sort of scary villain who would, you know, capture one of the characters. Or The Wizard of Oz, you know, you had the Wicked Witch of the West, you had Dorothy trapped in the witch's castle. You know, with Dorothy even had an hourglass. You know, like, I'm sure that was part of the inspiration for Prince of Persia.
So then how long did you work on Karateka?
It was a couple of years. Do you remember seeing like the first version?
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah. I saw everything.
Yeah, you saw it evolve.
I saw it evolve. Yeah, I remember that I remember telling you that there were great props available if you used the Japanese theme. That you could use a Shinto gate and Mount Fuji in the background. Remember that?
Was that your idea?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, sure. Because you didn't know what those things were.
We had the prints of the wave breaking on Mount Fuji.
Yes.
We had those books of
that
Hokusai prints and
right,
Shiraku prints. And I think you brought those back from a trip you made to Japan in the 60s, right? Because growing up, I mean, we had a Goban.
Yes. Yeah, I bought back the Go sets and the Goban. But anyway, I remember telling you...
Anyway, the Shinto gate was my idea. That was all me.
And then we looked it up. Because I didn't remember exactly what the boards looked like. So we looked it up and found a picture of one in the middle of the water. Remember?
Yeah.
The ocean. I said, that's what it should look like. And you said, okay, and you did it right away.
Yeah, I remember drawing that gate in perspective.
Yeah.
And when it scrolled onto the screen, because it was so big, it slowed down the animation. But it was worth it. And then Mount Fuji was always visible in the background.
Yes.
It was kind of an illusion of animation because you couldn't really do scrolling on the Apple II. But there was this gate that had a repeating, you know, a post.
Yes.
So it was really just one, you know, a few bytes
of
graphics.
Fuji was a static prop.
Right, and the posts were like a mask over it. When they moved, it kind of gave the illusion that the whole camera was scrolling, even though really there was almost nothing on the screen that was animating.
Okay. Chad, we're gonna have to run some ads and then we're gonna do another like 20-30 minutes of the stream before we wrap it up. So hang in there, go stretch, do something productive that's not watching ads, and then come back in 3 minutes so you can do something more productive like watching the stream.
I learned so much about Death Bounce.
Yo, I am so invested in Death Bounce. I'm so glad they made a playable version of Death Bounce.
Justice for Death Bounce. Holy shit.
I'm not sure the world was ready for Death Bounce.
It's okay. The time came, and when it did, it was fantastic.
Draw your Sona as a Death Bouncer.
Dude, that little plot is so fucking good.
It is. The Death Bouncers.
It was like so good. Unhinged.
I love 80s sci-fi plots. I feel like I'm learning a lot today. I'm glad we're doing an educational stream for once. I didn't know anything about Death Bounce. I didn't know that the game existed, and now I know so much about Death Bounce, and I think my life is better for it.
Everything has been improved by the presence of Death Bounce.
Well, also seeing how it evolved and everything, and kind of like, oh yeah, I can see how, you know, what problems occurred and what solutions were thought of. So,
It's a terribly interesting thing.
Yeah. The most interesting games are the ones that never came to fruition and never got released. That is actually true, because whenever you look at videos on canceled games, they're always romanticized. Because they talk about things like, oh, you know, this game was supposed to have this complex morality and combat system where you could influence the war between 5 nations and it would adapt to which nation was winning and blah blah blah. But then, like, it got cancelled in pre-production. But imagine how good would it be if it released, and I'm just staring at every time there's an example of that, I just stare at it and go, yeah, that would have been downscoped severely. That would not have been released in that state.
There's a reason why it got canceled.
To be fair,
typically bullshit, but a lot of the time, like, like just an impossible to make game is just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or, as mentioned, it happens, but it's just, like, not even remotely the same idea.
So let's check something. So I love how engrossed everybody is. I have had minimal sodas for TF Tuesday. It's shocking.
Well, now I gotta press the button.
Oh, now you do. Now you gotta press it.
Because it's been acknowledged, I have to press the button.
I'm back. I'm cured. Okay.
I'm cured.
Cured. I'm no longer some freak. I'm normal. Karate Game, Jordan's Journal, July 7th, 1982. Oh, I'm a freak again. Today I didn't do anything on Earth because my mind was occupied with Karate Game. After talking it out with his brother David, who was 11 years old at the time, Jordan started sketching out a design for a one-on-one fighting game based on the rules of competitive karate, which he soon named Karateka. Karateka. Demo Man. Yo, he had Demo Man from Team Fortress 2. Holy shit.
Like that.
The end. I see. Wearing his inspiration on his sleeves.
There we go.
He even has a box art envisioned. Yo, button layout, let's go. Oh, this is actually very good. See, this is why just basic drawing skills are really useful for game design, because you can illustrate stuff like this. It's why I use MS Paint so much.
Right, yeah.
Also the standard Japanese exploitation font. I assume he referenced that probably from a bunch of posters or novels. I worked out with David's device an awesome system using one joystick and the keyboard to control a karateka and an elaborate combat system to determine what effect your blows have on your opponent and vice versa. Nice. Karateka development plan. Jordan's original 14-week development plan for a one-on-one version of Karateka dated August 2nd, 1982. He wanted to have it sent off to Bourbon by Christmas. Yeah, right, he added. I like how these things never change. Estimate total 14 weeks, yeah, right. animated adventure? As excited as Jordan was about the Karateka game, he was simultaneously pursuing another bold idea, which he called animated adventure in the summer of 1982. It would have taken the popular graphic adventure game genre and had an animated character controlled with a joystick. The breakthrough 1984 game King's Quest would eventually be the first to do this. Damn, he predicted King's Quest?
Head of the curve, dog.
Oh, okay, AA is animated adventure. Soon after finishing Karateka in late 1984, Jordan briefly returned to the idea of animated adventure, perhaps inspired by 1984's release of the point-and-click Macintosh computer. He removed the text parser from the design and replaced it with a series of drop-down menus for character actions, another innovation that other designers were later used to revolutionize the genre. These are all very fascinating to look at. See, nowadays all design documents have to be fucking PowerPoint presentations and fancy video GIF references.
Boring.
Scenes. Soon after Jordan started sketching out Karateka, another project came along to take away his spare time. That November, a local New Haven software company called CompuTeach, oh that's a good name, contracted Jordan to produce an educational game called Alphabet, later Absence. It was an interactive alphabet book with animated musical scenes for each word. Is this playable? App Scenes design document, original design sketches for some of the App Scenes words, and improvements to Death Bounds took up a lot of time that Jordan increasingly wished he could spend in Karateka. Yo, mouth. Gato!
Gato! I love the kitty.
Eventually, CompuTeach also signed Jordan to create a more difficult version of App Scenes as well as a Spanish language version pictured. He was paid about $3,000 per game, helping to pay for his Yale tuition. Jesus Christ.
You could even get that nowadays. In the same amount of dollars.
After the first 2 weeks of school, things should have died down enough, bio exam, course selection, etc., that I can start work on Alphabet in earnest. Then, with 3,000 under my belt, I'll buy a graphics tablet to get cracking on Karate. The game everyone keeps telling me, Dad and Adrian even, is going to be a winner. What if it doesn't work out? What if someone else does it first? Ark. Me with that game that you and I keep talking about.
Yep, we'll get there. I do think we should get to it before someone else does it, but...
I think so too. Anyway.
No matter the case, it'll be unique when we do it.
Attention, bow, cat stance. I love cat stance. Mid punch, reverse punch, lunge punch. Yo, kill all of these normals. Crane stance, middle side kick, low side kick, high side kick. 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, there's more? Yeah, there's more. Oh my god, it's Karate Man from Mugen.
Everyone's favorite Mugen character, Karate Man.
I can't believe Jordan Mechner predicted Mugen. It was actually really impressive, like the way he planned this out.
I mean, it's a very complicated game for what it was.
To be fair, it was pretty complicated when we released.
Well, yeah, because like I don't even know, like it seems like impossible to make like the what it was, like the platform it was on, do this thing.
Mm.
It's like bananas.
A storyline enters the picture. I no longer plan to do it pure karate on the mat, Jordan wrote on January 3rd, 1983. I've got a scenario. The game would now be a single-player adventure in which a lone karateka invades a villain's hideout and rescues a beautiful maiden. Initially, Jordan envisioned the player deploying on an island by parachute and escaping by helicopter, but the setting quickly moved to ancient Japan as in this early sketch. Man, I can't believe Jordan predicted Contra. You extract with a helicopter. Helicopter escape. An early storyboard sequence from this concept. After the hero kills the bad guy, Dr. Ni, he finds and rescues a girl who leads him to the roof of the facility where the helicopter awaits. Likely inspired by Choplifter. Early mock-up screenshot. This mock screenshot recovered from Jordan's old floppy disk shows his earliest concept of core Karateka. Your only possession besides your gi is a digital wristwatch, Jordan wrote. Once the time hits midnight, the villain would escape with the girl. The only way to end the game is by committing harakiri. In this scene, we see the timer and the player character about to commit suicide. Dude. That's really hardcore.
That is really hardcore.
I can't believe Jordan Magna predicted the harakiri from Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Also, hello, dear. Congratulations on your oil change.
Congratulations on your burgers. Yes, sir. I've been working with Drax, creating pretty pictures of scenes from the game, making design decisions and trying to get the perspective right. That was full of comments, advice, and ideas on my Draxing today. He's very enthusiastic about the project. Pocket watch. Another early Karateka graphic recovered from Jordan's floppy disk shows a pocket watch. The idea would probably have been that the player hit a key on the keyboard to bring up the time display. It's likely that he shifted from a digital wristwatch to an analog pocket watch when he shifted the setting of the game earlier in time before abandoning the timer feature entirely. Yep, that's a pocket watch. Deception was harakiri. I mean, they had it in Armageddon as well, right? Sorry, I don't care about the bad Mortal Kombats. I only care about the good Mortal Kombat games, which is why I don't know anything about any Mortal Kombat game, because they're all bad. Damn, nailed it. Actually, that's it through Shaolin Monks. It's very good. Jordan Journals. When I'm working, time is so precious. I begrudge every minute I spend away from whatever it is I'm working on. Death bounce at Christmas, Karateka now. I forget to sleep, to eat, to change clothes. My life gets all fucked up around me through sheer neglect. Damn, dude. It's okay to be trashy, you don't have to lash out. Yes, and be notable fighting game hater. Karateka and kanji. Jordan didn't know Japanese, so he enlisted someone who did to write the game style in kanji character. The Japanese language can be written either horizontally or vertically, as seen here in the game kanji. While the kanji version of the word karateka or any Japanese characters whatsoever did not end up in the final game, Jordan apparently did spend what had to be a considerable amount of time designing this kanji version of the logo on the Apple II. That looks really good. Yeah, it looks really good. An early sketch of the Karateka logo based on the font Libra. Yeah, I think that's the actual final logo. When you think about Mortal Kombat, hell yeah, I'm having a great time. Me playing Mortal Kombat, oh no. Everybody enjoys Mortal Kombat until they have to play it. This is the storyboard of the cutscenes. An early storyboard is closer to the final version of Karateka. Note the similarities to the final in-game designs, but also the cut features such as the villain's exultant dance after the player is defeated, and the on-screen text, Mission, Rescue Princess, which was likely inspired by a similar message that appears in the beginning of the game Choplifter, a big influence in Jordan. I love, by the way, that you can be like, oh, what inspired Karateka? Oh, Choplifter. It's like, wait, what? The game where you fly a chopper and rescue hostages? Like, yeah. Oh, okay. I can't take this MKA, I'm leaving. I'm kidding. I've bought multiple Mortal Kombat games.
One story was really fun.
Yeah, the story mode is always fun. Early
I don't
storyboard.
think I like playing it though.
Early storyboard 2. Another more detailed early storyboard. Jordan already wanted the encounter with the princess to have some interactivity, but was still working out what exactly that would be. In this proposed version, if you approach her and finding a stance to punch or kick her, she would fall down and you would lose the game. I mean, that was kind of funny, although she punches you in the final version. Early sprite sheet. Another image recovered from Jordan's floppy. This is his early attempted drawing animations for the Karateka character. You might notice something of a resemblance between this character and the man in the X-ray image in absence. As you can see, Jordan did not get very far with these hand-drawn animations. Yeah, because they would have taken forever. Jordan was set on his karate adventure concept, but drawing realistic human movement was proving difficult. Fortunately, a novel solution was just around the corner. So I do want to show at least part of this before we wrap it up, because this is actually really interesting. Life on the screen. Now an adventure game, Karateka would use clever animation techniques and cinematic influences to create a game that looked like nothing before, but Jordan didn't do it alone. Jordan's father, Francis Mack, is a renowned research psychologist, concert pianist, and chess master. He also made major contributions to Karateka. When his son was having trouble drawing realistic human movements, it was Francis who suggested using the animation technique known as rotoscoping. Dad suggested filming somebody and counting the frames. Mom suggested Dennis, karate instructor, tomorrow evening. I remember the film editing machine we had. Still have, question mark. Shown here in a 1917 patent by pioneering animator Max Fleischer, rotoscoping involves filming a live actor then tracing the individual frames to create animated drawings. Jordan pioneered the use of rotoscoping in video games, tracing film stills on vellum paper and digitizing the results in his Apple II to create the most lifelike animations ever seen in a computer game. Yep, that's rotoscoping.
Very complicated back in the day.
When Jordan began having trouble drawing realistic human sprites freehand, his father Francis suggested he use a technique pioneered by animators in the 1920s known as rotoscoping. What Francis may not have expected is that he would end up being one of the rotoscoped actors.
Working with Jordan was fascinating because he brought in the cinematic side. He obviously was really into movies. He's actually gone off and worked for a bit in the film industry. And the aesthetic and the motion of Karateka, which he continued in Prince of Persia and later in The Last Express, was really unusual for the time, this idea of rotoscoping.
I decided to try a trick early Disney animators had used called rotoscoping. Rotoscoping is basically filming live actors doing the moves that you want to animate and then literally tracing each frame to get a frame of animation. At first I started to try to do the animation the usual way by drawing characters on graph paper. And then, because it was pixel by pixel at that time that we had to do the animations. But when I tried it, it just looked stiff. And I think you were the one who had the idea of filming the movements and then counting the number of frames.
I suggested, when I saw you struggling with these pixels, I suggested that we just make a video.
Well, in that video, this was 1982.
A Super 8, a Super 8 of somebody actually making those movements. I thought, I didn't remember that.
And you were actually a model at one point because I started by filming our karate teacher, Dennis, doing the punches and the kicks, advancing and retreating. But then later on, I realized that the character would need to run, like that it was too slow to move in that karate stance throughout the entire palace. So I needed someone running. And so you put on a karate outfit and we went out into the woods in front of the house in Chappaqua. And I filmed you running in Super 8. And also the climbing up onto the cliff at the beginning of the game, that was you, climbing up onto the hood of the car in the carport.
I'd forgotten that.
We're wearing, I guess, I don't know if it was my karate suit or...
Mom's probably.
Yeah, you were probably wearing Mom's gi.
Yeah.
And you had never taken karate lessons, but you did the running. Yeah, so what I did was I put that Super 8 roll of film on the Moviola, which was it was a screen with a rear projection, and you could turn the crank and stop on a particular frame. And then I would put a piece of tracing paper, I would scotch tape it to the screen and trace the outline of the character with a pencil, and then wind it a couple of frames ahead, and then do the same thing. So I ended up with all these little sheets of tracing paper with outlines.
That was a breakthrough, actually, in video game technology, because nobody had done that before you.
I mean, it really goes all the way back to silent film. I mean, I found out later that the early animators had done this. You know, in Snow White, Disney's animators had actually, not for the dwarfs and the animals, but for Snow White and the prince, the more human characters.
It's kind of an obvious idea, because everybody knows that real live movements are totally different from what a cartoonist would draw. I mean, there are very subtle rhythms and speed changes that define a human movement, a movement of a live organism as opposed to the movement of an imagined organism.
Well, and also there's so many complexities, like there's things that you wouldn't imagine, like the way that you kind of throw an arm awkwardly over one shoulder to compensate for a change in balance.
Correct.
It's like when you see it, it looks natural, but if you're just trying to reconstruct in your head what someone does, for example, when they turn around while running, you wouldn't think of that.
And also we make adjustments of the angle at which we hold the body depending on the speed with which we're moving, so that we don't tilt over. Yeah. And those adjustments are very critical to the realism of the movement.
Yeah, in Karateka it's very subtle, but there's a low kick, a middle kick, and a high kick.
I know.
And I remember the frame of the high kick, the fighter leans back, and also the arm goes back, and that's something. I remember that because I had to, draw that frame and use it so many times. For 2 years I was staring at that frame. But in the beginning, when I tried to do the frame with a high kick, it was more like idealized.
Yeah.
You didn't realize that the body would have to lean quite that far back.
That's fascinating.
This took a very long time. It was an incredibly laborious process. It took me months to go through all these steps just to get to the point of doing the first animation test. But I can still remember the thrill that I felt on seeing that little figure moving across the screen. It was the illusion of life. It was everything I'd hoped for.
Damn. But yeah, that is like that was like the main thing that I think sold Karateka, which just looked so fluid. Oh man, that was Karateka too.
I also like how the Shogun is just a bathrobe.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But that is it for Karateka Tuesday, everybody. Hope you had time. I hope you all learned something new today, but I sadly have to learn to go to bed at a reasonable hour, so I will be heading out. Can you shout yourself out while I look for a raid victim?
Yes. Oh, that's me. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll find something to stream for a little bit. And then try to get work done. I keep being too tired. I'm just tired all the time.
Too tired? You EP?
Goat that screams like a person, etc., etc.
Okay. I know who I'm gonna send y'all to, but if you enjoyed the show, I would appreciate a follow, and if you already follow the channel, thank you, you are lovely. There's also a Discord server where you can join, link is in the chat. You can also follow me on Blue Sky, and tomorrow, tune in, I will be playing with Torpid, and, well, I'll be streaming with Torpid and Necro, where I'm playing through Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, and we will be wrapping it up tomorrow. But I'm gonna send it to somebody I don't get to raid it off, and I'm gonna send you all to Mail City, who is streaming Gex. Everybody here loves Gex, is it right?
The stinky man.
So go raid, go wish Mail City a happy tail time, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.
Good night.